Okay, so looking at FX at the moment, now let's start the euro dollar. Okay, now I know of you quite a number of my clients or quite a number of traders I know took a shot from the 11450 area, right? Because it was a very clear resistance level. Okay, it cannot get any clearer in terms of resistance, right? So if you see this 114 between 114 and 11450 or 11480, right? How many times it touches it could not break it all. A few times even it tried to break out, okay, but it formed a long shadow in the end of the day. Okay, so a lot of fake false breakouts, but this 11450 area is really strong resistance. Could not break for the whole 2015, and 2016 is still struggling. Okay, but having said that, the weekly chart, the momentum is still to the upside. Okay, if you look at price action, it's forming a series of higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Okay, so it's not confirmed that the market will start turning around and drop back to the support at around 107 or so. Not yet. Okay, it's still momentum is still the upside. So don't be surprised if we make a push up. Okay, but the big picture wise is still consolidating on the weekly chart. All right, I think let's see what happens. I mean, if the FOMC meeting and the Fed is still dovish and not keen to hike interest rates, right, then there's a chance that, euro dollar might shoot up again. But we'll see what happens. Okay, on the daily chart, you can see that, all right, there's so many days whereby the market was hovering around the 114, 114.50, and you can see that all these shadows shows that a lot of bearish momentum. Okay, so I know a lot of traders were taking shorts here, and they were quite nicely rewarded when it dropped. Okay, but right now I think the daily chart is sort of consolidating. Okay, I'm very keen to see what happens if it drops to 112. Okay, but I tell you, the FOMC meeting will change everything, so just be a bit mindful of it. Okay, let me see, there's a trend line that I can draw. Okay, so just look at this trend line. This is trend line support, a bit of a false breakout here, but near the 112 level there's support, and we'll see what happens. Okay, I'm not a big fan of touching the euro dollar now, especially when the news coming out on Thursday morning. But it seems that it might make a push up the 114 again before the news comes in. Okay, but we are entering the apex of this little consolidation in the moment. Okay, so just be a bit mindful of what's happening with the dollar, but it is consolidating, and always use the high term time frame to tell you what's happening, especially in such a consolidating market. You want to have a big picture. You don't want to get caught in between the smaller time frames. Okay, so this is what's happening. You can see this is a trend line that I drew on the daily chart. Same thing. Okay, so we are consolidating. Is getting the tighter spot in the apex of the triangle. And I mean, if you're a price action trader, I would say better to just wait. If it breaks this 114.50 level convincingly, now you just jump in to the long side, follow the momentum. If it breaks the 112 support convincingly, jump into the downside and try to take it back down all the way to support. That's it. That's all you need to know. Don't overthink things in trading. Okay, just follow the momentum, follow the trend, and just follow the big movement, follow the sentiment. Okay. So that's the euro dollar. You guys got any FX pairs you want to cover specifically? Okay, yeah, I drew this in a 4-hour chart. So like I say, I mean, big picture wise, is consolidating the apex. But in terms of intraday, I'm not surprised if you make a push maybe back to the top of this wedge trend line around the 113 level. Okay, not much, not that far, about 50-60 pips off from there. Okay, this is a 4-hour chart of the euro dollar. Okay, but I would say use the big picture, the longer term chart as a gauge of what's happening. All right, any FX pairs that you guys want to cover? Okay, one of the pairs that caught my attention is the Aussie dollar to the upside. Okay, so if you see the Aussie dollar, it looks really nice and bullish. Okay, so there's a bit of a trend line support resistance there. Okay, so if you see the Aussie dollar, right, let me just draw a line here. Okay, so you can see that it is bullish. One nice, it keeps going higher, making higher highs and higher highs. So it is bullish. Okay, you can see that the moving average on the weekly chart is crossing over as well. Okay, let me see if there's any more resistance. And there's a possibility that we might test this resistance level at around 78 cents again. Okay, last week candles is not that promising. It's almost like a bearish pink candle, which makes me inclined to think that it might start it might start making bigger retracement. Okay, but it's still possible that it might make a test, go one more test at 8 cents before turning around. Okay, but weekly chart looks definitely bullish to me. Okay, in terms of daily chart, let me delete all the lines. Okay, so if you see the daily chart, sorry. Okay, daily chart is definitely to the upside. What I like about the daily chart is that you can see that we are at the support level. Okay, so uptrend at support, I assume that we might make another push up, maybe to 78, and then we'll see what happens there. Maybe either we'll turn around to come down, or we might break new highs. But what I like about the Aussie dollar is that there was a good long opportunity this afternoon near the 77 cents. Okay, you can see there's a nice uptrend, high, 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 low, high, 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 low, and we are at support. Moving averages nicely converging to the upside as well. Okay, no divergence because this is a high, high on the MACD, high, high on the price. So there was a really good opportunity this afternoon to the upside. Okay, right now, we'll see whether we can make a push, maybe back to the previous high around 78, and then see what happens. Okay, but it looks good to the upside. Okay, if you look at the lower term time frame, 4-hour chart, there's a nice bullish engulfing candle as well. Okay, and the support level was here. Okay, so what I like that the Aussie dollar to the upside, maybe to the 78 cents, and then we'll see what happens. But this is a good example whereby the weekly chart is bullish, the daily chart is bullish. So I think to the upside has a high probability to upside or to test the 78 cents again. Okay, so that's Aussie dollar for you. Just give me a moment. I think got a bit of a sound issue here. Now, any of you got any FX pairs that you want to cover? Any FX pairs that you guys want me to talk about? Okay, so I'll cover Aussie and Pound Aussie. Okay, let me just have a look at Pound Aussie. Okay, let me just give me a moment. So I got a bit of a technical issue. Okay, so if you can see the Pound Aussie, right? Now let's take a look at the weekly chart first. Okay, now the Pound Aussie has dropped really significantly for the past few months or so already. Okay, now right now it has came off this support level around the 183 level. Okay, and you can see that it's making a bounce up. It's making a bounce up. I mean, if you look at the trend, the weekly chart is definitely still bearish. Definitely still bearish. However, you can see that it has formed some kind of base because the past 3 weeks, alright, it could not make a significant lower low, and it's very likely that we might make a bounce to maybe around the 189 level. Alright, back to the previous resistance, and then it'll come down again. Okay, but the weekly chart is definitely to the downside. It's just that it's making a retracement, probably to the 189, 1.9 level. Okay, but that's a very long-term view. Now going to the daily chart, you can see the daily chart is slightly turning around. So you can see that it was still a downtrend, okay, but you can see the first level of sign that the market is turning around whereby the price made a lower low. Okay, but if you compare this whole swing compared to this swing, this is a high low, so it's a bullish divergence. Okay, I hope you guys are able to appreciate divergence and see how powerful it is, and it gives you a lot of good indication, especially if the market is turning around. Okay, so especially if you're a trend trader, divergence is very important because you don't want to be caught whereby the market is reversing, or there's a chance whereby the market is reversing. So this was the first sign that the market is reversing, and true enough, it went up. Okay, now I don't think it will break this level that easily yet, which is around the 18850 level. Okay, this is quite key resistance, so it might, okay, it might come back down, consolidate here a bit, or it might, and then from there we'll decide what it wants to do. Okay, but the 1.9 to 189 level is somewhere here. Okay, you can see that there's a whole bunch of resistance here as well. Okay, so we might come to this level before the market comes down again. Alright, but if you look at the weekly chart, okay, you can see that it's still bearish. Is your time horizon, what kind of time frame looking at, Sri, if you don't mind telling me, for the Pound Aussie? Because if you are a swing or position trader, I think this will be a very nice setup, especially near the 1.9. Alright, so keep an eye, swing trader, awesome. So keep an eye anywhere between 189 to 1.9, okay, because the weekly chart is definitely bearish. Okay, so if you take a nice trade to a downside near the 1.9, all right, your first target can be the previous low. Okay, but the weekly chart is definitely a bit more bearish. Okay, so the daily chart, take note of this level first. The resistance around the 188.30. Okay, if it breaks above, then most probably we're going to that level, the 189, 190 level. Okay, so that's pound Aussie. So if you're a swing trader, I think the weekly chart is a key level, is a key chart to you. So so your bias should be to the downside, but you're looking for resistance, lower high to short it from. So I would say anywhere around the 189 to 1.9. If you want to see weakness here before it comes down. Right now, the daily chart seems to be turning around. So let it play itself out first. Let's go to 4-hour chart. Okay, 4 hours is quite bullish, so just one straight bullish chart. Okay, but let's see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens. So I would be putting alarms in the 189 to 1.9 area and see once the 4 hour turns around, and then we'll see whether we can take it down based on the weekly chart. Okay, so it's very important. It's good that you know that you're a swing trader, because it's very important to know what kind of trader you are and what trade you are planning. Different time frames can mean very, very different things. So if you tell me that you're a swing trader, it's easier for me to tell you which chart to focus on. So for your case, weekly chart, definitely. Okay. Now, oh, Gary, you have a question. What EMA I'm using, is it? Is that? Yep. Now, EMA for me is just a 20 and 50. Yeah, just 20 and 50. In my other charts that I use to trade, I put in the 100 and 200 as well. Okay. It's just my preference. No particular. Yours look different. Yours is a SMA or EMA? Mine is the EMA, exponential moving averages. Should be similar. I don't think there's any difference on the close exponential. Yeah, it should be similar. I mean, at the end of the day, EMAs or SMAs, I mean, just use what's comfortable for you and what you are familiar with. Okay, it doesn't really make much of a difference. And anyway, it's a lagging indicator. It's a lagging indicator, so it's not a big deal to me, the moving average. Okay, so this pound Aussie. Any other FX pairs that you guys want to cover? So if you look, let me go back to MT4 for a while. Yeah. So I keep clicking the wrong thing. Okay, so let's go to the yen pairs, for example. So if you notice a lot of yen pairs, right? Now let me bring up pound yen. So the pound yen was really bearish. In fact, when it broke the support of 158, but I was very happy to short. Okay, and then it came down nicely for me. In fact, it made a lower low. Okay, but I just want you to focus on how price action changes. Okay, so that you know when you're wrong, when to get out. So for this case, when it broke the support trend line of 158 or so, I was very happy. Okay, because high chance that the bears are back in charge. And the next 3 days, it just keep coming down, down, down. Okay, it made a pullback. Okay, make a pullback. You can see that it came back nicely back to the support area, support term resistance at around the 156 area. This was where I took a short. And Monday morning, even better, gap down to about 153. So that was 300 pips in the back. Really nice. Okay, let me just zoom in a bit. This gap, see the gap here? Okay, but okay, what happened that it made another leg down in the Asia session on Monday, almost to 152.50, and then it bounced back up. Okay, it took my stop loss. I mean, I moved my stop loss below my entry, so just lock in some profit. So it took my stop loss out, and then it broke a new high. So for me, this was a key area. Let me just use the drawing tool here. So this was a key area here, the 156, because this is a swing high. So previously it was a lower low. This is a lower low here, compared to this low. Lower low, lower high. And when I see the market forming something like this is what I call a higher low. And again, those of you who attend my webinars quite frequently, a higher low is a sign that the market is either reversing the upside or consolidating. So when it formed a higher low, I was a bit wary already. Okay, so so any other remaining short positions, I just got out, took what I can. And when it break the 156 swing high, right, it's actually forming a new higher high. So some of the traders that I spoke to who were right in shorting this swing here, because it was a downtrend, so it was what they did was correct in terms of shorting the trend. But when thing broke a new high, you got to be alert enough to say that something has changed. Something has changed. The sentiment, the momentum has changed. Therefore, you cannot be stuck in your downside bias. You need to get out and switch. Okay, in fact, this week, I think, oh no, last week I took a long when it retraced back to this level here. Okay, but this happens in the markets all the time. So you got to be alert on what's happening, and that's where price action can give you a leading heads up on what might happen. Okay, any of you got any questions on this? Because this is very important. This to me is price action fundamentals. Okay, it's very, very useful if you're able to spot it in the charts. It happens a lot of time, all this price action. Essentially, there's only 4 things: high, high, high lows, low, high, low, lows. That's it. But if you're able to appreciate the swing and how the market moves, you'll be a very powerful trader. Okay? So, let me see. Okay, so there's pound yen that I mentioned. So pound, all the yen pairs have reversed to the upside. Yeah, I mean, if you look at dollar yen. Okay, let me go back to my pro real time charts. Okay. So if you look at dollar yen, right? It's the weekly chart. Okay, dollar yen still to the downside on the weekly chart. Okay, still lower low, lower highs. But right now we are at key level based on this. Okay, you see how a lot of the previous week's candles tested the 11111 level. So right now we are at that level. Okay, I would rather wait for what happens to FOMC before I touch dollar yen again, because these 2 candles signals that the market is not sure what it wants to do. Okay, you got a big bearish candle and then you got a bullish engulfing candle. So it looks a bit more to upside, but we are at a 111 resistance level. Okay, so this level is quite key to me, but weekly is definitely to the downside. If you look at the daily chart, you can see that the daily chart is on a uptrend. Okay, you can see a double bottom with a higher high made. Okay, but right now we are at that key resistance level, anywhere between 111 to 112. So a bit of conflicting signs on weekly and daily chart. I'm more than happy to let the Federal Reserve do the job for me and show me the clear path in terms of where dollar yen might go, and then I'll just hop in. Okay, but it's conflicting right now on the weekly and daily chart, so just be careful of dollar yen. Okay, we are at resistance area. However, daily has started moving to the upside, trending upside because it made a new higher high. Okay, that's dollar yen for you. Okay, any other FX pairs that you want me to talk about? Okay, if not, let me just do a quick one on commodities. Let's talk a bit about gold. Okay, now gold has a strong run for the whole year. Right now, it seems that you want to consolidate. So if you look at gold, alright, when it broke all this resistance at around 1180, 1190, right, it shows that it is very bullish. Okay, but I can see that for the past few weeks, right, it's unable to make a push higher. And you look at the candles, okay, it's forming 2 consecutive bearish pink candles. So very reluctant. This is actually a bit of a lower high. So this is a high, right? And this is a lower high. Okay, so I'm more inclined to think that we might make another consolidation down, maybe back to the 1200 level for the next week or so, and then from there we will try pushing higher. Okay, but right now weekly is bullish. It's just that it's consolidating. It is consolidating. Okay, and if you look at daily chart, it's a clearer form of consolidation. Connect the lines here. You connect the lines here. Okay, but we are consolidating for gold at the moment. Okay, I'm more inclined to think that we might come back, maybe back to the support level here, and then we decide what happens. Okay, so just be mindful of gold. In terms of silver, alright, silver looks more bullish than gold. Okay, I think it's about time. I mean, if you look at the gold-silver ratio, right, a lot of analysts are predicting that silver will be more bullish than gold. In fact, the one trade idea for the year, if you read some of the analyst reports from banks or from external sources, they say that the good trade is to long gold and short, long silver and short gold. Okay, long silver and short gold. I won't cover too much into that, but just Google it. There's a lot of articles about it recently. Okay, but if you see the silver definitely looks bullish. It tried to break the 1750, unable to. Okay, it's forming a long shadow. What I like to see is for swing or position type of trade, for it to come back maybe to support level around the 1650 level, and then hopefully it'll start grinding higher from there. Okay, back here, and then hopefully it will start pushing higher. Okay, but this hopefully will come back to this level around the 1750. Okay, but this is a very nice classic uptrend reversal. So we make a bit a lower low, but then you form higher low, higher high, another higher high here. But right now it might seem that you might want to come down to form a higher low. And if you're bullish, that's where you want to look for higher lows as support to buy up. Okay, that's silver for you. And if you look at the daily chart, yeah, daily chart looks nice and bullish as well for silver. Alright, it seems that a pullback is due though, based on how the candles is responding. Seems that a pullback is due. Hopefully back to the 1650 area. We'll see what happens there. Okay, but looks bullish. Alright, any other questions before I wrap it up for the day? Okay, cool. If there's no other questions, again, thank you so much for coming by for today's sessions of Market Talk. I'll see you in the next 2 weeks. Again, this session is recorded and it will be uploaded in 1 or 2 days time. So yeah, go to the website under education and you can watch the recording if you need to refresh what I covered. Again, have a very good night. Again, big week today in terms of central bank meetings. Trade carefully. Always take care of your risks and you should be fine. Alright, again, happy trading and I'll see you guys soon. Take care.